Hi, this is Julian, and I'm here to bring you news about the coronavirus here in Japan. I'm a junior high school English teacher here in Japan, and I've been living here for like the past 8 years. Right. So, what's the current situation? As you can see, Prime Minister Abe has asked all schools to temporarily close. That's a major thing, of course, and as it says here, all elementary schools and junior high schools in the prefecture will be closed for about a week. And this news was just 3 hours ago, and that's already old news because, as you can see here from the Japan Times, right? So as you can see, all schools in Japan told to close until April over a virus outbreak, right? And this just came in like 30 minutes ago, right? So, right now it's Thursday here in Japan. It's 11:30 p.m. And so tomorrow is going to be Friday. It's going to be probably maybe the last school day. And right. So what's the thing? The coronavirus in Japan has affected more than 800 people. Out of those 800 are actually from like more than 700 crew members and passengers from the luxury liner Diamond Princess. Right? The Diamond Princess. So we have here, you can see the number 691, but that's actually from a few days ago, right? So the Diamond Princess, the ship has already been quarantined, and the passengers and crew members are actually still on the ship, and of course they're not allowed to disembark, right? Still we have a rising number of coronavirus cases here in Japan, but as you can see from the chart here, this is from the 26th. Most cases are actually in Hokkaido, hence you can see like the red part, right? So, right, 38 people from yesterday in Hokkaido, and as you can see, most prefectures are actually unaffected still, right? Just one case in quite a few, right? But right, so. What else? The coronavirus key news is, of course, Tokyo Olympics. That's a big topic, right? So the Olympic Committee, the Japanese Olympic Committee is not willing to budge from hosting the Olympics, right? Which is, of course, understandable. I mean, Japan spent a lot of money and influence on being able to, host the Olympics here in Japan for 2020. And right. So, of course, it's very important for Japan to actually contain the virus as quickly as possible, right? What else is there? This is good news. The good news is that you can see like the Kanagawa Prefecture and government-backed research institute Riken have developed a new testing method that can detect the new coronavirus in 30 minutes, which is far shorter than the 6 hours required with current tests, right? This is very, very important. But one thing is, of course, that the problem is that these tests, how much they can be trusted, right? So this is also a huge thing, is that one Japanese woman actually, she tested negative like a few weeks ago, like a month ago, and but because she still kept having like symptoms, that's the thing, right? The coronavirus has like the same symptoms as a common cold, so that makes it very, very difficult to differentiate between whether you're infected with the coronavirus or whether you're just having a common cold, right? So So this woman, upon her own requests several times, has finally tested positive, right? So this is the thing. So even if you have like the test down to 30 minutes, the problem is whether the tests, whether they are thorough or not, right? One big problem is, it's also the same with other countries, is that a lot of people who are not showing any symptoms have actually been carriers of the coronavirus, right? They have been infected without actually showing any symptoms, and they can pass the coronavirus on to other people, right? So that's a huge problem. And of course, as you can expect, usually people who show symptoms are they will have themselves checked and tested, right? And I mean, if you don't show any symptoms, why would you get yourself checked, right? So yeah, that's the thing. Now, as the coronavirus outbreak sends people on citywide quests to find a store stocking face masks, right? The government and manufacturers have seemingly failed in response to the crisis, fueling concern that the shortages will continue for some time, right? So Japan has always been a huge fan of wearing face masks, right? For safety reasons, of course, but also for just when you're sick, just a common cold, then the Japanese will wear a face mask. But even just for preventive measures, allergies, or just in order to prevent from catching a cold, the Japanese, from adults to the elderly to small children, they will actually all wear face masks, right? This is a debatable topic for me, myself. I don't really think it's very good. I don't think it's that effective, but in any case, that's a different thing, because with the coronavirus, of course, it works like a common cold, right? You can catch it by air, by breathing in the same air. So, of course, that's actually one case where wearing a face mask will actually, where it does make sense, right? Right. So, smaller things, right? 24 of Japan's 47 prefectures have not yet increased the number of hospital beds, right? Crew members aboard the Diamond Princess, quarantined in Yokohama, right, start disembarking Thursday, right? And they will stay at a government facility near Tokyo, right, for further monitoring by doctors, and can leave the facility if testing negative for the virus, right? And right, the daily coronavirus death toll in mainland China fell to its lowest in nearly a month, right? The United States and South Korea will postpone until further notice joint military exercises planned for the spring. And U.S. President Donald Trump says that he hopes Tokyo will host the Olympics this summer as planned, right? Japan hopes that, of course, as well, right? Pakistan confirmed the country's first coronavirus infections, and Brazil confirmed the coronavirus infection of a 61-year-old man who had returned from a trip to Italy, right? Okay, a more worldwide news, I'm pretty sure you can read that somewhere else. This is just about Japan, right? So, meanwhile, the Japanese government will ask organizers of big sports and cultural events to consider canceling or postponing them for the next 2 weeks, right? And also, Japan Rugby Football Union will postpone a total of 16 games, right? Concerns over the spread of a new coronavirus infections have prompted some Japanese companies to switch to online seminars and interviews for the recruitment of new graduates in April 2021. Right? Hokkaido, the prefecture that has been affected the most in Japan, right? The Education Board of Hokkaido will urge local authorities on Wednesday to temporarily close all 1,600 public elementary and junior high schools in the prefecture, right? So this is probably older. Okay, 30 minutes ago. Okay, 11 p.m. So 40 minutes ago, right? So yeah. So the biggest news is that schools, junior high schools, senior high schools, elementary schools are told to close until April. So what does it mean? Of course, as a school teacher, I'm affected. It affects my students, right? So is it a big thing? I mean, of course, the coronavirus is a huge thing. It's a potential global pandemic. It's already affected very many countries, and yes, depending on whether mankind can successfully contain the coronavirus, right? Yeah, we'll see, right? But other than that, I mean, just telling all schools to close, is that really a sound decision? I'm not really quite sure, right? Because from my years working in senior high schools, junior high schools, and elementary schools in Japan, the Japanese are very, very cautious about their health, right? So influenza outbreaks, that's a huge topic here in Japan, especially with school children. So usually every morning, the first thing that will happen is that the homeroom teacher will check on all his students, whether anyone's sick, and especially during winter times, whether anyone has caught influenza, right? And they have proper school nurses, trained school nurses at every school, and the kids will get sent to the nurse if there's anything wrong, if they don't feel well, or if the homeroom teacher tells them to get checked, right? But another good thing is, I mean, that's something that surprised me, was that sometimes, like, the student, him or herself, felt all right, but actually friends would tell him or her to actually get checked because they felt like she didn't look quite all right, she or he, right? So I think this kind of careful observation and health checking at school is actually a good thing. And I don't know how good that will be if the students will just stay home, right? So that's just one thing. And also, I mean, there has not been any ruling about, kids should not be going outside, right? So the kids will probably still go out and meet friends and do stuff, right? To a limit, I guess, right? So one thing that's especially in Japan that a lot of people don't know about is that Japanese schools, they actually have a lot of influence, actually, right? So even outside school hours, they can kind of dictate what the students should or should not be doing, right? Of course, they cannot really enforce it, but if any student actually breaks those rules, then the schools usually will get informed and they will call in the parents, right? So that's usually enough pressure, right? But it isn't really like schools aren't really as powerful as they used to be. Right now, like parent associations have become quite powerful as well, sometimes more powerful than the school, and it can cause a headache to both sides, right? So depending on the school, depending on the parents, it can be a blessing or a curse, right? But the thing is, like, I think tomorrow, because it's Friday, and we got the news around like 11 p.m. So of course the Board of Education, they have not had a chance to have a meeting about this, about what to do, and I think this will be decided tomorrow, and they will inform the school principals, and then they will organize that with the schools. So tomorrow's school day will not be cancelled. I think it would be very, very strange to suddenly get a message in the morning, early in the morning, saying like, okay, school's cancelled. Why is that? Why is this actually a huge thing? Not just for the students, but for me as well, for teachers as well. It's because in Japan, the school year actually starts in April and it ends in March. So because we are closing into March, you can imagine that the students, the third grade, junior high school students, third grade, senior high school students, and the sixth grade elementary school students, they will actually graduate in about 10 days, right? And this is a huge thing, of course, because for senior high school students, right, these are the last days they can spend together with their friends, right? Same with junior high school students before they go on to different senior high schools, or maybe even join the community as working force right away. Who knows, right? So this is a huge deal for the kids as well. And it's not just that, it's also because of entrance exams school, right? So in Japan, they have a system where junior high school students and senior high school students, and to a degree elementary school students, they all have to kind of study for entrance exams, well, if they want to go to a better school, right? So those entrance exams are really, really difficult, right? It's not really, it's a different topic. I don't think the system is very sound, but in any case, those entrance exams are really, really difficult, and especially like junior high school students, senior high school students, they will need all the support they can get, right? So usually what has happened these past few weeks since January is that after school, the students voluntarily may actually stay and still study with the teachers, and not just study, but also like ask questions, get like help. And this is a huge thing, and most of these students actually will just they stay after classes are over, right? So if the schools will be closed down, it will mean that the students won't have to come, but it won't affect the teachers. The teachers will still have to go to school and work as usual, right? For the same reason, the Prime Minister, he hasn't said anything about colleges or universities, so they are unaffected as well, right? So how much about this decision is really about the coronavirus, right? I think it would just look really, really bad if school children actually started getting infected with it. Right, but so that's the thing. So graduation ceremony, that's such a huge thing, and the students are actually upset about it, of course, understandably. If you are from different countries, you probably can't imagine. Most school children might be very happy that they get a month early off, but like I said, it's not just a huge deal for the students who will graduate school soon, but also for the other grades, because school clubs, club activities in Japan, basketball teams and volleyball teams, and book reading clubs, a lot of different clubs, right? Third grader students, they have been like the big brothers and sisters of the other grades, right? So if they're in the same club, they will usually have taught them a lot, and they will have helped them a lot, and they will have spent time with them, right? So those third graders graduating, that will affect the first and second graders a lot as well, right? And not just that, but all grades, just already 2 weeks ago, it depends on the schools, but at my school 2 weeks ago, they've already started like preparing for the graduation ceremony. They've started like practicing like the goodbye songs, and goodbye gifts have already been in preparation for like 2 months or maybe even longer, right? So this is a huge thing. And if the graduation ceremony, there's no way it can be held tomorrow, right? I don't think any school will just do it, because it goes way beyond just handing out certificates, right? So I think tomorrow will be just a huge teacher meeting in the morning with some probably with the similar information that I'm telling you right now. And I think by noon the Board of Educations, the prefectures will have made their decisions about the actual dates, closing dates of the schools. I think most of the schools will probably aim for a graduation day on Monday and having the schools closed starting Tuesday, right? So that's my personal prediction. So the thing is, tomorrow is definitely one day the schools will need to make plans for the graduation ceremony, to actually plan things, how to do things, and they also need to make a set of rules for the school kids outside school. Probably they will limit on how often, or maybe they will just discourage the students altogether from meeting up with friends during March. And we'll see. And who knows, maybe depending on the schools, maybe they will just go with Wednesday or on Thursday. I don't know. But yeah, does it make sense? I don't know, because it's the Prime Minister's Abe, he's asking all elementary, junior high, and senior high schools to just close. It feels very political to me. It's not really about genuine concern, because if it were genuine concern, it would be extended probably to colleges and universities as well, and many more things, right? And I don't know. And for example, Olympics, they might actually say, okay, we will consider whether we can, just guarantee the safety of all participants, right? Whether we can actually uphold the standards, health safety standards of the Olympics, right? This kind of, just humility is something that I would have expected more if there were like genuine concern, right? And also because just asking all prefectures nationwide to do that, even though a lot of prefectures have barely been affected, that doesn't really make sense to me, right? That's just my personal opinion, and I might be wrong, and I would be the first to admit that I'm wrong. I don't really follow politics very, very closely, right? But okay, in any case, this video has gone on long enough. This channel isn't very old. It's rather new, actually. I've still not decided what I'm going to do with it, but this news about the coronavirus is just getting bigger and bigger, and I thought, like, okay, I think there are actually people in the world who might want to know about what's happening in Japan. So here's I hope this video was informative, and right, if you have any questions, if there's anything else you might want to know, if there's any more information you might share, or if I got something wrong, then please just post it in the comment section. And I think that's it for now. And wherever you are in the world, please stay safe, stay healthy, and I wish you the best. All right, see you.